Welcome back to the Bike Ride Testing Studio. I'm your host, Scott, bringing you all the in-depth info and reliable commentary on the best and worst e-bikes on the market. Today we're looking at the Velotric Nomad 1 Plus, an upgraded version of the original Nomad. The new Nomad strikes a similar stance to its predecessor, with upgrades that include an adjustable stem, a brighter 60 lux front light, and a top speed that can be set to between 12 and 28 miles per hour. I kick off this review with info about Velotric, some details on the Nomad 1 Plus, and our ever-popular pros and cons. That's all followed by a deep dive into the bike's components and build specifications. I've got all the data from our range of standardized tests, and you'll get to follow me with ride footage as I evaluate the bike on my local streets, trails, and beaches. We'll finish it all off with our final word on the Nomad 1 Plus's performance, durability, and value. I've previously tested the original Nomad 1, and if you want to check out that review, you can click on the card above my head, or follow the link in the description below to see the full review on bikeride.com. You can also search our best bike lists and ever-expanding catalog of reviews to find the perfect bike or cycling accessory for you. Plus, we've got cycling events near you, repair and maintenance guides, and interactive forums with cyclists worldwide sharing their knowledge and experiences. Velotric is one of the bigger names to emerge in the e-bike space in recent years, and we've tested many of their new models in the past year. My overall impression of Velotric is that it consistently produces e-bikes to an above average standard in terms of design, features, performance, and overall quality. We have reviews for more than 15 Velotric bikes on bikeride.com, as well as video reviews for most of the current lineup. If you're interested in any of the Velotric bikes, be sure to check those out using the links in the description below the video. The Nomad 1 Plus is an e-bike with a 750 watt rear hub motor, a 691 watt-hour battery, and fat 26 by 4 inch tires. It can be configured for full compliance with e-bike class 1, 2, or 3, with the top speed set anywhere between 12 and 28 miles per hour. The Nomad 1 Plus is a hardtail frame with an 80mm suspension fork, and it's available as either a step-through or a high step. I'm testing the step-through version here. Velotric says that the Nomad 1 Plus is built for any adventure, handling heavy loads, steep hills, and harsh weather. Indeed, the Nomad 1 Plus is packed with features, safety standards, and weatherproofing that underscore its ability to handle severe conditions, as well as the challenges your daily rides are likely to throw at the bike. On paper, the Nomad 1 Plus appears to be a robust and powerful adventure e-bike. But just how well does the new upgraded Nomad perform compared to its predecessor? And how does it stand up to the competition? Let's dive into the pros and cons to learn more about the Velotric Nomad 1 Plus. The Nomad 1 Plus offers a great combination of nicely controlled acceleration at lower speeds and plenty of motor power at higher speeds. The new Nomad suffers from none of the jerky, torque-heavy acceleration that many users complained about with the original Nomad 1. Despite this moderated acceleration when pulling away, the Nomad 1 Plus's 750 watt, 75 Nm motor still brings the heat once it's rolling. As long as you're already moving when you hit an incline, it makes hill climbs a breeze, and it easily gets the bike up to 28 miles per hour using throttle or pedal assist. The Nomad 1 Plus definitely fulfills Velotric's promise of a comfortable ride. Our step-through version is easy to mount, with a straight-back riding position that will appeal to many recreational cyclists looking for a relaxed ride. The adjustable stem lets riders change the angle of the bars to find a comfortable position. The bright high-contrast display and simple control pad are easy to see and use while riding, even in bright sunlight. I also found all the contact points to be comfortable, especially the lock-on rubber grips and cushioned seat. If you plan to ride in wet conditions, you might need to upgrade the pedals to ones with more grip, but these are fairly good for stock pedals. After testing 7 models from Velotric, I can confidently say that the brand offers consistent quality across its lineup. The Nomad One Plus performs similarly to or better than its predecessor, and every Velotric bike has done well in our tests. I was also happy to see that the user manual and instructions for bike setup and control are informative and easy to follow. As we've now come to expect with Velotric, we had no problems with the Nomad One Plus during setup or testing. Altogether, the quality packaging, lack of any damage on arrival, and easy setup I've enjoyed with all Velotric bikes give me confidence that quality control is a top priority for this brand. That sense of quality is bolstered by the safety and weatherproofing standards the Nomad One Plus meets, which should allow it to provide many miles of trouble-free operation in wet and dirty conditions. If you're not certain you're going to be riding on beaches and off-road all day, you may not need the additional float and traction provided by this bike's fat tires, the benefits of which are limited away from loose and slippery terrain. If you don't absolutely need fat tires, you may want to consider the Velotric Discover One Plus instead. It costs less and has a similar 500-watt motor, yet it climbs hills slightly faster than this bike because it's lighter and its narrower tires have less rolling resistance. Also, in testing, it demonstrated the potential for greater range. The Discover One Plus beat the Nomad One Plus in both of the hill climb tests and traveled 4 miles further in our Pedal Assist 5 range test, while maintaining the same 17.9 mph average speed. Velotric made a conscious decision to tune the Nomad One Plus's controller to give slower acceleration, and there's no way to change this. I know that I praised the powerful motor moments ago and mentioned that the acceleration was pleasant and not jerky. While this will appeal to many riders, I do need to note that acceleration on this bike, especially at lower speeds, is much slower than on others we've tested. And it will not do the trick for riders who want strong acceleration and the feeling of lots of torque. This bike's relatively sedate acceleration is a consideration when crossing busy roads or attempting to climb a steep hill from a dead stop. To get a strong launch, you need to pedal hard, and pulling away uphill requires careful balancing as the bike ramps up the acceleration in the first 5 to 10 seconds. After that slow initial acceleration, there's plenty of power on tap. As with other Velotric bikes I've tested, the stated fit for the step-through model seems unrealistic. Velotric says this bike fits riders up to 6'4", and as I'm 6 feet tall with a 32-inch inseam, this bike should fit me well. However, I had to raise the seat post almost to its maximum height to get a comfortable fit. Anyone taller than 6 feet will probably want to consider the high-step frame instead, while being mindful of Velotric's tendency to get the height range wrong. With its powerful motor and claim range of up to 55 miles, the Velotric Nomad One Plus is positioned as a go-anywhere adventure bike. The bike has an aluminum frame, which comes as a step-through or high-step, but in only one size each. The Nomad One Plus has swept back bars and an adjustable stem with 60 degrees of adjustment, allowing most riders to make the most of the straight-backed riding position. However, I found the stated rider fit to be unrealistic. Velotric says the step-through fits riders 5'1" to 6'4", and the high step fits riders 5'6" to 6'9". I'm 6 feet tall, and I only just fit this step-through frame, so riders taller than me might find it cramped. Both frame styles are hardtails, with an 80mm suspension fork that has preload adjustment and a lockout. Pretty typical for bikes in this price range. The bike has a total payload capacity of 440 pounds for rider and cargo. The rear rack can carry 55 pounds, and the optional front rack is rated for 33 pounds. On my scale, this bike weighs 72.4 pounds without the rack. The Nomad One Plus uses a 48-volt electrical system with a 14.4 amp-hour battery powering the Velotric branded rear hub motor. That battery sits in the down tube and is secured with a keyed lock. Velotric includes a 3-amp charger, and the battery can be charged on or off the bike. The charging port is located on the upper side of the battery, on the drive side of the bike. The motor uses a cadence sensor to detect rider input and also has a thumb-style throttle, which can be removed if you need to comply with Class 1 or Class 3 e-bike regulations in your area. Also, the speed limit can be adjusted between 12 and 28 miles per hour. The 3-button control pad sits by the left grip, and there's a 3.5-inch backlit LCD display in the middle of the bars. The bike has a pleasant appearance, with good curb appeal. It looks capable and burly, with big tires sporting a prominent cross-country tread pattern. The paint has a pleasing semi-matte finish, and it's less metallic and fancy than the vibrant shiny red on the Discover 2 that I tested. As I mentioned earlier, the Nomad One Plus complies with a range of safety and performance standards, including UL 2849, UL 2271, and IS 4210. This bike has IPX6 level weather protection, and the battery is IPX7 rated. The Nomad One Plus rolls on 26-inch spoked aluminum rims, which wear 26 by 4-inch CST BFT tires. These tires have a cross-country style tread and include puncture protection, but they're not tubeless ready. Both the front and rear wheels use bolted axles. The drivetrain is well suited to the bike's high-speed capability and aids in hill climbing. Its 8-speed Altus derailleur and trigger-style shifter are mated to an 11 to 32 tooth freewheel at the rear. It uses 170mm aluminum cranks and a 46 tooth chainring, with a single-sided guard to keep your clothes out of the chain. When it comes time to stop, the Nomad One Plus has unbranded hydraulic disc brakes with dual piston calipers and 180mm rotors. Those brakes are controlled by aluminum brake levers with reach adjustment. The cockpit also has lock-on grips, the aforementioned thumb-style throttle, and a 3-button control pad, a bell, and trigger shifter. Other touch points include the Velotric Urban Comfort saddle and plastic platform pedals. The bike has a 60 lux front light and a rear light with brake activation. The Nomad One Plus comes with fenders, but the rear cargo rack that's seen on our test bike costs extra. The Nomad One Plus performed well in this small elevation hill climb, coming within 1 second of its predecessor and the Discover 2. It beat the Himaway Zebra D5 by 10 seconds and fell short of the Snapcycle R1 Pro by only 6 seconds, demonstrating its ability to maintain speed up shallow climbs. The steeper climb and shorter distance of the medium elevation hill climb meant the Nomad One Plus's slower acceleration had a greater impact on its results. In this test, the Nomad One Plus was the slowest climber, but only by 1 to 3 seconds compared to the Discover 2 and Himaway D5. The Snapcycle took the top spot, beating the Nomad One Plus by almost 20 seconds, while the original Nomad One came close behind, finishing 16 seconds faster than the Nomad One Plus. Slower acceleration is most noticeable in the 0 to 20 times, where this bike is 2 to 5 seconds slower than the others, whether you're using pedal assist or throttle. The Nomad One Plus's sedate acceleration does make the bike more rider-friendly, but it's safe to assume that if you're an adrenaline junkie looking for a torque-heavy experience, the Nomad One Plus is not the bike for you. In the first range test, the Nomad One Plus was firmly in the middle of the pack, beating the Vituvia SN100 by almost 7 miles, and its predecessor, the Nomad One, by 1.5 miles. It came within 1 mile of the Discover 2 and only fell seriously short of the Fido Titan. The Titan, however, is a special case, with a top speed of only 15.5 miles per hour. That lower top speed allowed it to conserve power for extended range in this test. If the Fido Titan is free to reach its top speed of 28 miles per hour, its range falls to just 27 miles. In the Pedal Assist 3 range tests, the Nomad 1 Plus again finished in the middle of the pack, beating the Vituvia SN100, but falling a few miles short of the other competitors. The top spot was claimed by the Summit 1, which traveled almost 7 miles further than the Nomad 1 Plus. This can probably be chalked up to the Summit 1's narrower tires and more efficient torque sensor. The Nomad 1 Plus's range at Pedal Assist 3 was very close to those of the Velotric Discover 2 and Engwe's EP2 Pro. From 20 miles per hour, the Nomad 1 Plus stopped in an impressively short 16 feet. This was an identical result to its predecessor and close to the best bikes we've tested for stopping distance. The Nomad 1 Plus's 60 lux front light is reasonably bright, putting out almost as much light as the units on bikes like the Radster Trail, and outperforming bikes like the Engwe L20 2.0. It has a narrow beam, which widens as it reaches 100 feet, and can illuminate a traffic cone 100 feet away. It's not as bright as our Cat Eye reference light on its 1100 lumen setting, and the Nomad's much tighter beam doesn't illuminate the sides of the road. On its 400 lumen setting, the Cat Eye reference light puts out about the same amount of light as the Nomad 1 Plus's 60 lux light, but the Cat Eye provides much better peripheral illumination. The Nomad 1 Plus's rear light is significantly less bright than the Lezine reference light when viewed from 100 feet away. I enjoyed riding the Nomad 1 Plus in most circumstances. The powerful motor allowed me to forget about the oversized tires. The 8-speed drivetrain, 11 to 32 tooth cassette, and Altus trigger shifter were a joy to use. And combined with the motor's power, made pedaling comfortable, with the speed limit set anywhere in the 12 to 28 mile per hour range. The bike is best suited to light trails, beaches, and other recreational off-road terrain. But it also does fine on pavement, despite the increased noise and rolling resistance from the tires. The 4-inch fat tires provide excellent traction and float over loose surfaces like sand, making it much more suited to riding on loose beach sand than the skinnier tires that are found on the Discover 2 or Discover 1 Plus. This increased tire width is one of the key selling points for the Nomad 1 Plus versus the rest of the Velotric lineup. The greater volume of these fat tires gives you the option to run them at lower tire pressures for more cushion over bumps. I experienced no speed shimmy and noticed no flex in the step-through frame, even over bumps and in tight turns. The general fit and ride style of the Nomad 1 Plus is very similar to its predecessor, the Nomad 1. At 6 feet tall, I found the fit comfortable, but I had to set the saddle close to its highest position, a problem that I've had with other Velotric bikes. Taller riders might want to consider the step-over version instead. From a dead stop, the Nomad 1 Plus pulls away much more slowly than many other e-bikes. But once it gets rolling, the motor provides plenty of power. Using pedal assist or throttle, the motor responds much faster at high speeds, making it more fun. The motor is powerful overall and has good climbing ability, especially if you're already rolling and you're not trying to pull away uphill. The motor isn't as quiet as the Summit 1's hub motor, but it's not overly loud either. The noise is definitely there, and it gets louder as the motor is worked harder, in common with other hub motors. But I didn't find it super distracting. The bike's 72.4 pound weight and big wheel set reduce maneuverability somewhat, but no more than you'll find on other similar bikes. Still, compared to bikes with smaller wheels or skinnier tires, handling and cornering are clumsier. The Nomad 1 Plus's big weight and tires also make it hard to transport the bike on a bike rack. It's harder to lift and requires a rack that can handle its dimensions and weight. The bike's bulk could also limit your ability to bring it indoors or to store it at your destination. unless you have outdoor parking or a ground level garage. The Nomad One Plus has a large 3.5-inch display, positioned in portrait format in the middle of the handlebars. It's not color, but it is bright, and the angle of the display can be adjusted. There's a USB Type-A charging port located under the screen. The battery meter is the usual 5-bar layout, and there's no display of battery percentage. There's also no phone app for the Nomad One Plus. However, Velotric has made it easy to adjust the top speed through the display. Also, the throttle is easily turned off or removed for full compliance with Class 1 and Class 3, which don't allow a throttle. Velotric has a detailed description of the e-bike controls and functions available online via its manual, so I won't dive into its functions in this review. I'll include a link to the owner's manual and quick start guide in the video description, so you can check those out. To remove the battery, you insert the key into the slot, which is located on the drive side of the bike, above the battery. Turn to unlock, and the battery will release from the frame, popping up at the top. Pull the battery up and out of the frame to remove it fully. The key is not needed when you're installing the battery, so simply place the battery in the slot bottom first to line up the battery contacts. Then push the top of the battery into the slot until you feel it click as it locks in place. The same battery port is used to charge the battery both on and off the bike, and it's protected by a rubber plug. I ran into an interesting feature of the battery and charger while using them in cold temperatures. If the battery and charger are below approximately 5 degrees Celsius or 41 degrees Fahrenheit, the charger will not allow the battery to charge. I had this happen when the bike was stored in my garage. After I brought the battery and charger indoors to warm up, the charger worked. So there must be a temperature sensor in the battery or charger to avoid damaging the lithium-ion battery by charging it when the ambient temperature is too low. Something good to remember if it's cold out and your bike's not charging. It seems that Velotric has done it again with the Nomad One Plus, creating a robust and fun e-bike that lives up to Velotric's claims about the bike's abilities. The motor is powerful and responsive after the slow initial ramp up, which is only a potential problem in certain situations, such as when you're crossing a busy road. However, it also makes the bike more approachable for riders who aren't looking for mind-bending torque and acceleration. The Nomad One Plus promises to be a safe and reliable bike with all the certifications you could need. The fit is comfortable, and despite some exaggerated height estimates, the two available frame sizes seem to fit a wide range of riders. The Nomad One Plus is an excellent choice for riders seeking a fat tire e-bike to ride on beaches, trails, and paved roads, all for a reasonable price that provides a nice mix of quality and affordability. It's not as cheap as other brands, but the features and safety certifications are worth paying for. I would happily recommend this bike to others, as it brings the same quality levels I've experienced with the rest of the Velotric lineup. Do you own a Nomad? What do you think about these fat tire e-bikes in general? Are the additional weight and bigger tires helpful for traction and control, or could you blaze the same trails on a lighter wheel set just fine? I love to hear your comments and experience with the e-bikes we test, so keep the comments coming. And if you enjoyed this review, I would appreciate it if you gave the video a like, and even subscribed and turned on notifications, so you never miss another new e-bike review. I'll be back soon with another e-bike to showcase, so stay tuned, and thanks for watching.